Okay, so usually what I do at the top of every hour, even though people are going to be coming in at different times, and we'll ask to see if they would like to introduce themselves, but I'm going to have everyone sort of do a quick intro, and then I also wanted to do to share, if I can find it, since I have so many tabs open, I actually created a PowerPoint to show more about what the Maryland Blockchain Association is doing right now, what its goals are for 2025. It's not going to be very long, but we've had a lot of great success this year. And so I really wanted to kind of spotlight where we've been and what the vision is for this next year. And one of the things that just happened, again, I don't know, for those that might be new to the conversations, Maryland Blockchain Association is part of the U.S. Blockchain Coalition as one of the 50 association states. And because of that network that we're a part of, there's an individual in New Jersey who we've had many conversations. And because of my other hat, which is the Blockchain Legal Institute, I have many talk shows. And one of the areas that we're going to be launching in January is a Blockchain Legal Institute television station. So I've been talking to Carlos about what he's doing in New Jersey, but he happened to let me know that he knows some Maryland General Assembly senators, and also, John, you know some as well. And so basically, Carlos, this is one reason why I wanted, John, for you to also hear this. He just introduced me to Senator Zucker, who's in Montgomery. And the reason why I wanted, for those that don't know, the reason why I wanted to be introduced to some of the Maryland General Assembly individuals is because I would like to, there's only two pieces of legislation that I want passed this year, if we can achieve that, for the Maryland Blockchain Association. The Uniform Commercial Code has amendments dealing with digital asset definitions, and over 20 states have already passed that. So I would like Maryland to be one of them. And so networking with you, John, and with others like Carlos, having the introductions to these individuals will mean that we're going to have a network of people that are supporting where it is that we want to go. And I definitely want to have more legislation that is pro-business and pro-economic development, but a really easy ask, I think, is the passage of the UCC amendment. So with us getting that passed this year, that would be a really good win for the association. At the same time, there are, I think, John, I had talked to you about this before, there are different states that have blockchain task force that are a multidisciplinary blend of businesses as well as politicians who are learning about this space. And I really would like to have Maryland have a task force. So that way different individuals can lend their expertise. But the first thing that I really want to focus on is getting the UCC amendment passed. And then the second level will be the task force. So with that being said, I know I'm going to be sharing, and let's see here. So, okay, let's see here. I'm going to move that out of the way. And I'm going to get everyone's pictures back up here so I can see. Let's see if I can do this properly. All right, so basically I created this because of someone else that was asking for background information as to who we are and what we needed, what they wanted to do for introductions. So I just did this in the last 30 minutes, so there might be some typos, so excuse that. But basically, we just got started this past year, so since June, and within the time frame, we now have, again, I don't know which of you are members yet, but we have about 14, 15 members, and it's growing. And two of the really strong members, even though everyone is strong, is Dfinity and Constellation as protocols. And so, but then we have a lot of other individual businesses and individuals as well. So our primary objective is to network and to develop career paths. And so the association is in discussions right now with a, a university that's based in Laurel that I'll announce in January once we have our memorandum of understanding, and that's a tech university, so I'm really excited about that. We're also connected with Bermuda because Anthony Howell is on our board, and we've done business in Bermuda before, so we're really trying to do international trade. So again, I'm not the only name on the board, but I did this really quick, so I didn't add everyone. And the goal is to have more individuals be part of the working groups as well as part of this. And again, as I mentioned, we are part of the US Blockchain Coalition, and we're modeling after Virginia and Boston, and the other, larger associations to see what success that they've had. One of the things I mentioned, Richard is one of our volunteers, long-standing volunteers. He's in charge of our newsletter. So when you go to the website, you'll see the newsletter. We're going to be doing our winter version of the newsletter, and so we'll be highlighting new members and new opportunities and stories. And so again, I'm just going to quickly go through this because we have individuals on that I know are going to be sharing some really interesting stories. But one of the things that I do want to mention is we are doing virtual lunch and learns. So that means that these are going to be recordings that will be on various topics from Bitcoin, Bitcoin mining, Web3, AI, and so different entrepreneurs. So if anyone here has an area of expertise that you would like to be on the panel, these these panels are going to be recorded and then shared out with the Maryland General Assembly. So I had thought about doing it live, but it's going to be actually recorded so they can watch at any of their times. But at the same time, I'm going to go back real quickly. Patrina and I and a number of other entrepreneurs in the space are doing a lot of different educational workshops. And if you subscribe to the Blockchain Legal Institute's YouTube, you'll see some of those because I post them all the time and they get shared out. So we're going to be doing and probably one more. BLI just hosted a crypto blockchain DeFi conversation cruise in November, but I know that the university that we're about to partner with, they are doing an event in June or July in Maryland. So we're probably Maryland Blockchain Association will probably be associated with that. We'll be looking for different people to network, and we'll probably do a reception there. That's my thought. We've done a Bitcoin Cinderella. I'm the author of the Bitcoin Cinderella. We did a Bitcoin Cinderella reception at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville. We'll probably do, a reception here as well. So we're going to continue legal education. I just announced it to my network of lawyers that I have been thinking about this for the year. So it's starting in 2025. We are offering CLE classes. I feel comfortable enough now with my background knowledge for the last 10 years, even though this is an evolving space, that it's all about vocabulary development. So in fact, I just talked to a CLE platform and we're negotiating having the classes actually be shared non-exclusively because I always want to have control over where else the classes go, but to them, and they work with the federal bar. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, so we are also partnering with different Maryland agencies, the Commerce Department and some others I've been talking to, and the network is so large. It's, a step by step. So everyone helping will make it better for people to know that we exist. The member by talk shows, anytime that someone becomes a member in the Maryland Blockchain Association, I always ask, schedule a talk show. I'll share out what you do. So, and we'll put it on our website. So that way you can get exposure for your services if you want. And if you don't want, that's okay. But I'm all about letting people know who we are in the Web3 space. And grants. Katrina and I are working diligently in researching grants, and that's her area of expertise. So for for-profits as well as nonprofits. And then, obviously feel free to join, but you guys already know we are, but there it is. So really quickly, You probably already know who I am, but why don't we all kind of just do a quick share? And then we have John and Patrina who are going to be talking, and then I have other updates, but I don't want to be the only voice talking here right now. So I guess we'll go round robin. We'll start from that side. John, do you want to start? And then we'll kind of go around the circle and we'll end up with Patrina.
Sure. Name's John. I started my Bitcoin adventure in 2011 when I kidnapped the first Baltimore Bitcoin Meetup and forced them to come to my bar instead of hosting at a different bar that was a competitor. I saw the post on Reddit announcing the meetup and I was like, no, no, no. Listen, internet nerds, come here to my bar and spend your fake internet money and I'll support you. So I started taking Bitcoin at the bar way back when. The bar no longer exists, and I've been doing crypto full time now since 2017. I unfortunately sold all my Bitcoin to keep the bar open a little bit longer when it was 1,000 a coin. But what are you gonna do? These days, I've worked on a number of very interesting roles in the crypto space. I've worked for a layer one blockchain. I've worked for a privacy protocol. I help design crypto economies. I consult and tell people how their stuff is broken and is not going to work. I'm a big fan of DeFi. That's most of what I do. And in April, I launched my own project because I figured, why not? So I have a project on the base blockchain that's like an easy button for DeFi and uses some AI, and it's pretty cool.
So go for it. Who would like to be next? Go for it.
Hello, hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Suleiman Shah. I'm a recent graduate, class of 2024 from UMBC up in Baltimore County area,
Great.
environmental science and environmental engineering. And in January of 2024, I started my LLC, Terrapin Crypto Solutions. And it's a Bitcoin mining LLC. That's the main bread and butter of my LLC is Bitcoin mining operations. So I mine Bitcoin with a few ASICs that I have. Currently, I'm not mining in the DMV region because the electrical rates are just really, really high compared to some other areas, even just domestically. So, but I am in the near to mid future, like planning to somehow incorporate mining into the DMV area sustainably in some different very cool ways that I've been researching and playing around with. One of which I've been looking at is honeybees, actually, in a way that you can use honeybees to mine Bitcoin more like environmentally friendly and sustainably. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm not ready to share that project yet, but when that does come to fruition and it's ready to be shared, I'm sure that would be really cool and exciting for some people to look into. But other than that, I've been in crypto probably since 2018, I would say, just on and off. And then I took it really seriously, like starting in 2022. And I started Bitcoin mining, 2024. But that's kind of what I do. I'm usually just busy, running my business, mining Bitcoin. And I like to travel a lot to different conferences or meetups, internationally or domestically, just to network and meet other people in the spaces and see what other creativity, or innovations people have come up with. And so, I'm always happy to be here, help the Maryland Blockchain Association out, and looking forward to collaborating or discussing with some other people here as well. Thank you.
Yeah, sounds great. Let's see, who's next? Who would like to go off mute?
I'd like to be the next. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew. My residence in Canada. So a couple of words about myself. Originally, I was starting to build my career as a lawyer in Switzerland. I was supporting different blockchain projects. There, the main activities was to open different companies, to legalize the benefits, open the banking accounts, because because of the LML procedures, it's like kind of difficult. So after that, I was moving to Canada. I was working couple different Canadian universities as a law researcher. I was working in University of Toronto. Now I'm working in University of British Columbia, like for more than 2 years. And our study related to the state framework is critically important for our research because you have a lot of case law and case studies, what is like we can apply for the framework in Canada. My last projects were related to AI for lawyers who like it's actually upgraded version of ChatGPT that could provide responses about law regulation of blockchain in all jurisdictions across the world. We also collapse all knowledge and information about which legal, law firms are providing different services, what are the case studies for different countries, and like this kind of information. So different between our ChatGPT and the original one is that we providing the relevant resources or where we're getting the information, and we every time maintains those information. Also, another last project was related to the tokenization of the real estate. The project was located, sorry, in Quebec province.
Mhm.
And so the idea why we was developing that project is that we were trying to avoid some regulation related to the additional registration for like securities that was like the proof of ownership for the real estate. I know that in state there is lots of case law. It's still like a dispute between like what is the cryptocurrency, is the commodity or security, and it's also has involved into some legal barriers in the Canada way. We don't have like a lot of case study around that, but we like have a lot of penalties from our national like regulator. So this is like my experience. So my contribution to you guys, I want to build new relationships, new networking, and I believe that my experience from the European regulation and Canadian regulation landscape will be like important and valuable for you as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you look at the Maryland Blockchain Association's website on the homepage, all the way at the bottom, Baltimore City actually has put their real estate on a blockchain. So they and there's other companies as well, but you've touched on so much. I'm sure we'll have more conversations. I love it. Who's next? Jessica, Richard, who's next?
Go next.
Okay, great.
Everybody, so I'm Jessica. I first got into crypto because my friend got into Doge around 0.003. And then I became more interested, and I actually worked for Matrixport a couple years ago. That's a Singaporean international crypto exchange platform. So I do have some professional experience and contacts. Since then, I no longer work there, but I'm still very involved in the space. So, for example, I know quite a few BTC miners, and I'm quite interested, for example, in the GameFi sphere, and that could be very exciting in 2025.
Yeah.
Elon's one of the latest tweets was about to make gaming great again. I hope I'm quoting it right, but we'll see what he's gonna come up with, which is always unpredictable and exciting. Anyway, I'm here to network a little bit, to make friends with this similar passion, and yeah.
No, I'm excited about that. One of the things that, because I wear multiple hats, the Blockchain Legal Institute has two global summits every year, one in March and one in October. The one in March is going to be about sandboxes, SROs, and economic zones. And in fact, I'm networking with individuals in Europe as well as over in Asia. And our keynote speaker, which will be announced soon, is actually from Japan. So I definitely would like to have, to network with you on who else is in the various areas that that can be on those panels and speakers. Thank you. Who else would like to go next? Because then we have John and Patrina who are going to share some important information. Richard, I see you unmiked.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Richard. I've been programming with the blockchain for close to 2 years now. I primarily work with the back end Ethereum smart contracts, and I've been taking on Solana as well, working with Rust now. So trying to be a full stack multi-chain developer, and I've been helping Jackie out with the newsletter and such. for a couple months now. So yeah.
We're going to get you on some projects for sure. All right. BD Wright, you want to?
Hello, hi, I'm Brittany. I'm also in Baltimore County. I'm actually not in a full-time crypto or Bitcoin career at this time, but I've been investing in Bitcoin personally since about 2019. I'm passionate about it. I really see it as an opportunity for the future, and I have been struggling with my current group of friends and the people I surround myself with to actually have meaningful conversations about the subject. And so I've been searching for something in a place where I can kind of dive into this and really get involved. So I hope that is this, and I'm really excited and good to meet everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Katrina and I got involved with the Bitcoin mining side. I guess, I don't know, well, myself a few more years before you, but yeah, we're very much, into the Bitcoin side as well as the altcoin side too. All right, Katrina, you want to go ahead and
Yes.
do
So my name is Patrina Pelton Smith. I am the CEO and principal consultant for the Business of Charity. We are actually a consultancy that works with small businesses and nonprofits. And in this space and how I got connected to it was through Jackie a couple of years ago. I knew about Bitcoin, but really hadn't taken a dive into it. And then she and I connected, and I started doing Bitcoin mining. And then we looked at different applications for nonprofits and small businesses. So I'm going to talk about that tonight as well, but it's great being here. I'm not actually in Maryland. I'm actually in Houston, but I just love the fact that through technology, we can be anywhere and have this conversation. So wonderful to meet you all.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll share about Patrina is she helped with the incorporation of the Maryland Blockchain Association as well as our not, that's a 501(c)(6), so we can lobby. We also have the Blockchain Legal Institute Foundation, which is a 501(c)(3), so we can write grants, accept, funds from that perspective. The Blockchain Legal Institute, just so you know, all three hats, is a for-profit. But again, Patrina has been involved in, and if you weren't on last month, Cameron Brown, who's our accountant, was on last month. He's also, so you're going to see a lot of familiar faces who are part of this network and who have a lot of great background knowledge. Um, we have a new person. I just want to let you know we are being recorded. You can stay off screen. If you'd like to introduce yourself, you can. We'd love to learn more about you. And if not, that's okay too. Did you want to unmic and share more about who you are? No, that's okay. All right. Oh,
Hi,
hi.
yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Nyla Curry. I'm a veteran, Air Force veteran of 14 years, and I'm also just heavily involved in the cybersecurity and blockchain community.
Nice.
I'm here because I'm interested in starting a blockchain business, and education platform. So it's nice to meet everyone.
Definitely reach out. We can definitely help you with that. So, John or Patrina, who would like to go first? I'd say flip a coin, but it would be Bitcoin. Which one who would like to go first? John,
It does not matter to me. So I'll talk about it just a little bit from the fundraising and how businesses can implement this. So as I talked about, we work with charities as well as small businesses. So one of the things that we do with nonprofits is we talk to them about how they can use this as a fundraising tool. Um, every nonprofit needs some money to operate. That's how I got into this field of consulting, because before this, I ran a domestic violence and sexual assault agency that went kaput because we didn't have enough cash on hand. Had $1 million worth of grants on my desk the day that we closed, but without operation cash, because many of those grants are in fact reimbursement grants. Excuse me. A lot of people don't realize that. They just think that somebody writes you a check. That's not how it happens, unfortunately. So fundraising is an integral tool for every nonprofit. And so in this space, we help them either decide if they want to fundraise and hold through a wallet, or if they want to work with the many platforms that are out there that will essentially take it, bring it into fiat, where they can then have the cash to be able to use that immediately for whatever operations that they may have. And so helping nonprofits understand the benefit of it, particularly the small ones, because the organizations I work with are largely startup to probably 5 to 10 years old, while I have some that are more mature. A lot of them, even if they're older, are still kind of learning in this space. And so, and they're also oftentimes of color. And so, because of that, there are just some things and challenges that come into play around having that conversation about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, digital assets. So we do a lot of focus on that and really help them begin to normalize it, to understand that it is a currency that they can use, and to not just essentially be afraid of it. So if you are looking for any type of support or assistance, that is something that we offer to nonprofit organizations and small businesses, because the other thing for small businesses, the other side of it, is that they can actually use it as an additional resource or currency. Some in a business group, and they actually created their own coin this year. It's a private coin. It's called RNC. It's a Rhinos Nation coin. And so because of that, I've been able to work with other small businesses that did not have necessarily a lot of cash, but had RNC and could use that as currency. And so it's a win-win for both of us, because we both are able to have business exchange services and be able to say, okay, we also have this coin over here on the side that other people don't necessarily have access to, that will help grow our revenue as well. So obviously, I think Cameron talked about this a little bit last week, or last month rather. It's still taxable. You got to make sure that you're counting all your currency and reporting it appropriately to the IRS, because I don't play with them. If anybody knows me, my favorite saying is that I'm not going to jail with you or for you, nor will I advocate for you to go to jail. So always do your reporting, but these are just, really quick way for businesses to be able to utilize it. And of course, always you can also integrate into your website tools that will allow you to accept Bitcoin and other coins that are out there. So just something for you all to think about as you are working either in the nonprofit space or the small business space.
Yeah, and for sure, I'll just do a little plug, for BLI.Foundation, if you would like to go and see how Patrina and I actually integrated accepting cryptocurrency. We did research on a variety of platforms, and the platform that we decided to integrate actually allows the charity to decide either to keep it in the crypto and hold it, and or to have it converted into fiat. And that's something that some nonprofits need to decide with their board is, are they going to hold it, and then how do they hold it? And Patrina, I've already, and I've written a book about that, because a lot of board of directors don't know about the ins and outs of fundraising with digital assets. And then the other thing that I'll mention, and I'm not trying to plug books, but it's not just for you guys, it's for anyone who's watching this afterwards. Everyone has a digital asset, whether you own a crypto or NFT or have a social media account. And because of my background as an attorney, everyone on this little conversation here needs to have a will, and you need to have a digital asset organizer. And I wrote a book about the essential digital asset organizer for attorneys and their clients, with the idea that you need to be thinking about how do you pass on your generational wealth. And if you are not sharing that with your family, it will just stay there. So all of us in this space need to be thinking about that. John, your story with Bitcoin, I'm going to have you hop over, because it just blew my mind when you shared it with me. And I know that there's a lot of people right now who have seen Bitcoin go through the roof, but even if you are just taking out a little bit of money every month or every week and investing it in, again, this is not investment advice, guys, nor legal advice, but thinking about how do you want your future to go. John, why don't you share more about Bitcoin?
Sure. And dollar cost averaging is always the way to do it. Yeah, a little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time.
So yeah, like I said, I kind of kidnapped the first meetup in the region. And in 2011, 2012, the people that were interested in this, it wasn't about the money at all. Like it was laughable that this was even money or had any value at all. These were all guys that were mathematicians, they were cryptographers, and they pretty much universally worked at different three-letter agencies for our government. And they were tasked with breaking the blockchain to see like how do we hack this if we need to? How do we break the anonymity behind it if we need to? And, you know, what's it good for? So these guys were all mining Bitcoin on the government servers, you know, and they had thousands or tens of thousands of them. And they'd come to my bar and really discuss like the ins and outs of the white paper and the Byzantine general problem and like, you know, like just the really nitty-gritty details about how blockchain functions. It wasn't really about Bitcoin at all. It was about blockchain. And then Ethereum got invented and we all laughed at it because we are like, there's already Bitcoin. Why would there be a second coin? So like we passed on the pre-sale. It was like 3,000 Ethereum for one Bitcoin or something. Yeah, no regrets. Um, and so like that's how I kind of got my start in my education was just hanging out with these guys every month because they were coming to my bar. And just I was interested. I'm very interested in new and emerging tech. So I sat with them and didn't work and slacked off and learned about it. So, you know, as the years went by and eventually the bar closed, I realized that whenever I was talking to experts about crypto or blockchain, I actually knew more than everyone else in the room because I had such a strong, like, fundamental education on it, rather than I came in because it was money and I decided to figure out how to make more of the money, right? So I wasn't, I remember when Bitcoin hit $200 a coin and these guys were all like, this is crazy. Like, this is real money all of a sudden. One sold a bunch of them and bought a mini and Cooper and had a Bitcoin vanity tag. You know, so like the education really has benefited me. Just really like the deep dive. And I don't think I would have done it if I hadn't been sitting there listening to these guys because cryptography is boring. Like how the SHA 256, you know, algorithm works is not very exciting. So I probably wouldn't have done that on my own. But it made me super valuable when 2017, 2018, the ICO bubble, it was all about what's this white paper? Okay, well, I'd read the white paper and I'd say, okay, in this white paper, you've described that your token or your ecosystem is going to do this. It's blockchain specifically doesn't work that way. So I know you guys are full of crap. So now I can tell anyone that, you know, I'm talking to or advising, like, don't invest in this one because these guys are they're liars and they don't expect anyone else to know enough. Or maybe they're not liars, maybe they don't know either. But this one ain't gonna work. This is doomed. So that was kind of my trading strategy and like how I functioned in crypto was I came at it from a deep understanding of how the tech worked and then maybe bet on the team or maybe bet on is there a good product market fit as like a secondary idea. Um, and Jackie, did you want me to talk on like safety and security a little
Yeah,
bit? Because
yeah,
that's
yeah, please do, because I know that Katrina and I just did a workshop for, again, it applies to any age, but it was for 55 years and older on how to spot online scams. And I know that both Katrina and I have suffered from this situation, even here in the digital asset space. Um, and so it really doesn't matter how many degrees you have or how knowledgeable you are, we can all be susceptible to this. So yeah, for sure, share, because I think this is an important topic and what one person learns might help another person's pain. So
absolutely.
yeah.
And one of the main ways I make a living currently is uh, I get connected with people who want to invest. They want to start, you know, they want to start their crypto journey, but they're nervous because they know about the scams and the hacks, and they don't want to send their money to some guy in North Korea, which is totally reasonable. It means you've done just enough homework to figure out you're in over your head. So one of the first things I do when I set them up is we set up their first wallet. I explain what a wallet is, what a private key is. I hope everyone here knows what their private key is and why it's important. And feel free to direct message me your private keys and I'll double check them for you. No, nobody's going for that. Great.
But you know what's really funny and not so funny on some of my YouTube channels, I'll get a great video and I have these words here attached. Can you do X, Y, and Z? And all I keep thinking about is, okay, one, you're either a scam or something else is going on. And it's like you just don't do that.
Yeah.
So
So
at least not publicly. You might have to do that with your family, but not publicly.
right, that's different if you're, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll say like, okay, and here's your 12 magic words, or here's your private key. Where are you going to put this that's not at your computer desk in case the computer burns or there's a flood, right? Now you've lost the computer with the wallet and you've lost the private key, which means you're out of business. You're done. And that they don't, that's a very hard concept. And then one guy, I even went back to his house 3 months later to troubleshoot. And sure enough, on a sticky note attached to his monitor was the private key. And I was like, come on, man, we talked about this. So it sounds like almost everybody here owns at least some crypto. If you own $20, $30, if you own an amount that if you lost it, you'd be like, oh, I've learned a lesson. Then don't worry about your private key. Cool. But if you have enough crypto that you would feel sick to your stomach for weeks or a month or the rest of your life if you lost it, then that's worth getting a safety deposit box and putting, or some other system and keeping it outside of your residence. Because if something happens to your house that takes out the computer, it's going to take out odds are it takes out your private key too. I have a very complicated system because I've been in crypto a long time. I have a series of notebooks and they're stored in different places. And I have redundancies because I have enough crypto that I would feel sick for a long time if I lost access to my wallet. And I also keep many wallets because that way, if one, and it's not an if, right? There's so many scams and it's so easy to get tricked. It's more about when.
Well, not only, I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah.
Even exchanges change. So like
Yeah.
Binance, when I first started on Binance, it was not geotagged. And then, all of a sudden it was Binance.us. And then again, depending upon one of my first altcoins that I purchased, no longer is being sold in the US. So you have to think about what happens with like you said, the computer, the exchanges, all the various touch points of where your online funds are. And also this is the other reason why I go back to the will and the digital asset organizer. We are mentally capable right now, but if in a medical emergency or something else happens where you can't remember where your everything is stored,
Yep.
you need to be able to have that backup plan for your loved ones so that way they can have access to support you. And so this is the plan of action that sometimes we don't even want to think about.
And it's estimated that 1/5 of the Bitcoins that have been mined already are lost for good because those private keys are gone. So until a quantum computer can start cracking open dead wallets, like they're gone because people had their private key on a sticky note. And then, a hurricane hit or whatever, who knows? And then hardware wallet, super important. It's worth it. It's worth the $100. It's worth the time. It's worth the headache. And also, if you have a lot of crypto or you have bad impulse control, this really slows you down if the market's moving and you're like, oh, I got to do something. Then you got to find the hardware wallet. You got to connect it, So like, do I really need to touch my crypto? Like this is where I keep the long-term storage. This is where I have, the stuff the NFTs that I display on the digital picture frame. I have a hardware wallet that manages them. So like segmentation is great. It's important. And then just thinking it through. Like there's been several times where I almost clicked the link and I was like, this feels off. and I'm glad I didn't, you know. People that do this full time, developers, like a developer friend of mine got hacked because he followed a Zoom link and it was a fake Zoom link. And they drained him and they drained his project. And, you know, he'd been building for 2 years and that was it. They were done, you know. And so the error that they made was they didn't have a multi-sig wallet for their project. If it had taken multiple signatures, he probably would have just gotten drained, not the project itself, but too late, right? That's a hard lesson to learn. So when you are navigating this space and you're on a Discord or you're in Telegram, pretty much any direct message is a scam. Like if someone is sending you a message directly, there's no reason for it. There's nothing to say about that project that they couldn't say publicly in one of those rooms. And if there's a link, it's absolutely a scam. If there's no link, it's because they're trying to butter you up and, you know, and then they're gonna do things, they're gonna make you feel like, oh, this is a limited thing. I only have room for 5 more people. There's scarcity. You have to act now, and then distract you. Like, and here's what you have to do after you get in. You do this, you do that. Here's the password. And all that's just to distract you. So you're not thinking about it. You follow the link and click, and you're done. Because as soon as you click, that drainer gets your wallet and you're out. You're out of business. So
Let
the
me ask you
most
a question.
common,
Let me ask
yeah,
you a question. I know that I'm using one Bitcoin company that is for my IRA, and they do use multi-sig. Um,
get better.
but my question is, you mentioned multi-sig, and it's something I haven't researched. So, um, where would we go, or how do we create a Richard, if you're a developer, how do you create a multi-sig? Or again, I know a lot about the cold wallets,
Right.
but where anyone can hop on and talk about this, but I'm really curious as to how do we create that multi-sig?
So a lot of wallets have the option now to have a multi-sig wallet as the new wallet when you create it. Um,
Interesting.
and then also Gnosis, Gnosis, that's their entire business
Okay.
is multi-signature wallets.
Okay.
And they're kind of like they're the leader, they're the Cadillac. There's no reason to really worry about anybody else. You just go with them. They're great at what they do. And the whole point of the multi-sig wallet is you have access, you can see it, but to do any transaction, it takes more than one signature. And you can set the rules. When you set the rules, it's blockchain. When you set it up, you set the rules. So you could say, like, this is a 3-5 multi-sig. There's 5 people on it. 3 of them have to say yes. Some of the bigger DAOs and the bigger treasuries, they'll have like a 2117 multi-sig, right? There's 21 people on it and 17 of them in different time zones have to sign the transaction. So it's excruciating to get anything done, but the odds of 17 of their machines being, vulnerable at the same time are very low. So again, this is all, I mean, it's blockchain. You're in control of your own assets. That's the whole point. So you can get really crazy with the security of the stuff. And if anyone wants to talk through that with me, I'm more than happy to. I'm available. Like for instance, these hardware wallets, Ledger, the
Yeah.
other main company that did it, they got hacked. The
Mhm.
wallets were safe, but their customer database got dumped. So everybody's name and address that had ever ordered a Ledger was available on the dark web. And you're like, all right, well, a lot of people know my address. Yes, but not a lot of people knew that you had enough Bitcoin in 2014 to buy a hardware wallet. So then those poor people on that list, some of them got the, the easiest hack. Someone show it's a wrench hack. Someone shows up at your house with something heavy and hits you with it until you give them your private key. So when I ordered mine, I used a fake name. It went to a business address. Like I said, you can be very crazy with the security if you want. Um, you can never be too safe, right? Like I very publicly, because a lot of newspapers covered the bar when we started taking Bitcoin. So I was very publicly accepting Bitcoin at my business, and we had an ATM in 2012, 2013. And I made just as clear when we went out of business for anyone searching to see if they wanted to come and hit me with a hammer that I spent all the Bitcoin keeping the bar open, and I'm not sitting on
A lot
some
of
great dragon's hoard of Bitcoin anymore, you know? So another great thing about crypto is like right now, a lot of us are using our names and our faces, but this isn't like a whale room where everybody here has a $10 million net worth in crypto. If that was the case, this would all be anonymous names and every camera would be off. You know, so if you do make some money or if you do have some good crypto, you're going to want to talk to people about it. I'm going to tell you that's bad. Like the less people know, the better. Safer you are long term, because the hammer of vulnerability will always be there, unfortunately. So the odds of you getting hacked or the odds of you getting drained, it's probably going to be clicking on something you shouldn't have. That's unfortunately the case. And so when you're interacting with things like I said, I keep a lot of wallets. My main wallet that's live on this machine right now, if I clicked on something, I'd probably lose $25, scattered about of dust, whatever. It wouldn't touch my core holdings. It wouldn't touch any of my DeFi positions. It wouldn't touch the art that I've collected. So you always have to remind yourself of that. I know I collected rewards from one of my DeFi protocols today in my main wallet. I'm now going to intentionally log out of that wallet when I'm done, disconnect it, and then make sure I connect one of my dummy wallets I don't care about, so that if something does happen, if something squeaks through, if I'm not paying attention, I'm distracted, they're going to get something. They have to, right? That's their whole business. But they're not hurting me, you know? So probably everybody here could do better about security because you always can. And you have to just be methodical about it. You just have to think it through and say like, all right, I just saw the tweet. They're only giving 100 people access to this. What is it really? Who is this guy sending the tweet? Oh, it's a misspelled Twitter handle. Done. Instead of, oh, 100 people, I gotta go. And then you're broke.
Well, one of the takeaways that I heard from you talking now is also about really logging out. I
Yeah.
know, I know for me, when I had to reboot my computer and this is, simple, but it was painful for me. All my tabs that were open, my Gmails, everything would close down, which meant I had to put every single password. And now there's double authentication, and now there's the authenticator. So I had to go back, and it was like doing a little dance back and forth. But that actually is really good because, if we are forced to close out, then like you said, someone can't come behind you. And
Mhm.
so the practice of leaving things open is not always the best. And do you use a VPN?
Yes, I use a VPN. I use a password manager. And then in my password manager, I'm not actually saving passwords.
Mhm.
So the password manager wants to save the password. I use the password manager and I add a note to each profile. And in the note, it'll be clues that only make sense to me as to what that password is. It'll be like, here's a number, here's, you know, something from high school, like my jersey, it'll say like jersey number from junior year, and I'll know that. And then it'll be a phrase, and I'll know that. And then it'll be some, so I'll leave myself clues. I'll be like, oh, okay. And then I know the password. So even if my password manager gets compromised, they're only going to get a bunch of gibberish that they would literally have to have followed me around for the past 40 years to figure out.
So, um, everyone who's on this call right now, what questions do you have, or what experiences would you like to share and contribute? Because I know we all have had different experiences in this community and others.
Real quickly, I would like to contribute. I really appreciate everything John had to share. Really, really important, great, valuable information, especially to anyone that's not very familiar with like just keeping everything secure in terms of your holdings or what you've been working towards, whether it's projects you're building or whatever. Like John is mentioning, it's very important to make sure you have proper systems in place or measures that it's very, very difficult, if not impossible, for people to follow you digitally and take things from you, whether it's in your wallet or your account or things like that. One thing I would mention, me personally, when it comes to security, I have a burner wallet. So I just have like a small wallet that this is the only wallet I'll connect to things. That's like the main wallet, and that just has like literally like $5, $10, like John said. I think he said he had 25 on like whatever is connected to his computer right now. So like if he lost that, he wouldn't be really upset compared to like core holdings. So that's something I do personally. I like to keep like a burner wallet, and then I'll have other wallets. I don't have a multi-sig wallet, but I do use cold wallets. For my business, I actually purchased a cold wallet. It's like a three set. It's called Tangem. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that company.
I've heard them.
It's like they look like credit cards,
Mhm.
and the wallets have like these little I think it's called EA6 plus chip or something. I forgot the terminology of what chip is put inside of this little, like it's like a debit card or a hotel room key card, and it has a little chip that's put in it, and that chip is what stores your private keys. So that just keeps it even safer that there's no I know he was mentioning earlier like don't write it down on a piece of paper and keep it in the same place as like where your computer is at home in case like a house fire or a flood or something happens. Um, yeah, someone just said they love Tingham, great company. Yeah, they're amazing. I love them.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever been hacked. It's very impossible to take funds from a Tangem wallet. That's why I like them. For a transaction to go through with a Tangem wallet, in order to sign the transaction, you need the physical card and the device that that card is linked to. So, from a hacker's perspective, even if they took my wallet addresses and they were looking on the blockchain, what I have, I can't take anything out without having the physical card with them as well. So that's what I would like to add or contribute at least.
Yeah, no, it's always good to learn about other security options. Um,
And a multi-sig wallet, if that's something that you wanted to do, it doesn't have to involve other people. The multi-signatures can come from multiple wallets that you still control.
I was asking about the multisig because of my writing this book, The Essential Digital Asset Organizer, and advising people about their wills and their family and trying to figure out ways to make it easier for them, especially for family members that are just not crypto savvy or crypto interested. But they need to have some knowledge base because it could be their inheritance. So I'm always looking at how do I make this easier for someone that might be in the space with their family members. Yeah. So the wallet that you're using, the Tangent, would be difficult for someone. It would be more advanced. And so, but these are important things to know because we have all different, eh, so many times on talk shows, people ask me, well, when is the mass adoption going to happen? It's not until stepping into can be as easy as using a credit card. But again, we have PayPal and we have Venmo I don't know that it needs to be mass adopted, but it's going to, in the next 10 years, it probably will be, blockchain will be the underlying tech and crypto will be one of the options. We'll just have to see. Other information that you guys would like to share or things that you need from the Maryland Blockchain Association, how can we support you? I know that we are coming up to the 8 o'clock hour, so we meet once a month. Definitely love to have you on as much as you can be on. We are going to start working groups one other Monday. And I'll I'll share out the schedule, to try to network, to grow our community, to find out in each of these verticals what's going on in our state. Like, I did not know about Baltimore City integrating blockchain into their real estate until I met Ebony, who's one of the attorneys there at a conference. And I would love to find out, what else is going on in our state and how can we support everyone. So is there anything that you guys want to share before we log off? Because I'm really grateful for each of you. And we also, I mean, Richard and I want to feature you guys in our newsletter, so we want to know more. Any thoughts? No? Okay. So definitely let me know how I can help each of you. You can send me a private email for sure. And definitely, as you become, if you decide to become members of the association, I definitely would like to do a private talk show to feature out your areas of interest. You can be off camera. You don't have to be on camera. And John and Patrina, thank you so much for sharing your information. If you are looking at incorporating, Patrina's great at looking at both sides of that area, and John for sure on so many different areas for the knowledge that he has. And each of you have your own knowledge base. So anyway. Thank you guys. I'm not going to close out because at 8 o'clock I actually have another group coming in. So I'm going to keep the Zoom open. Well, actually, I have to close out in order for the recording to leave. So I will close it out for you. Yes, for sure. Anyway, I will talk to
You
you
don't
guys.
have to go home, but you gotta go.
I'm home. I'm home. I love my virtual job. For those that don't know, I teach during the day and then I come back here and I do all these other projects that I love. Have a happy holiday if I don't talk to you prior, and also have a really happy, enjoyable new year, because 2025 is going to be phenomenal for all of us. Anyway, guys, all right, I'm going to close the Zoom so the recording can drop, and have a great one, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Thanks.